Hello, everyone. Before we begin, we would like to wait a few minutes for the rest of participants to join us. Also, we would like to request to mute your microphones so we don't interrupt our presentation. Thank you.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Yes, we are here.
I repeat, we wait for a few minutes for the rest of participants to join us. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Alexander and my colleague Roman. Today we are speaking about transformer oil regeneration and oil analysis on site. You can ask questions in the chat and we will answer them. So I repeat, you can ask questions in the chat. We will try to answer them during the webinar.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. My name is Roman. Today we are speaking about transformer oil regeneration and oil analysis. As Alex said, you can ask all your questions in chat. Be sure we'll answer them. So the outline of our webinar consists of a theoretical part. Then we will switch to one of our workshops to demonstrate the process we are talking about. So during its existence, GlobeCore has accumulated significant practical experience in the operation and maintenance of transformers. Our company conducts a series of webinars under the general title of GlobeCore Tech School, during which both fundamental processes in the life cycle of transformer and practical issues will be addressed. The knowledge gained will provide a fresh perspective on transformers and contribute to existing their service life. So let's start by talking the definition from the standard that you see on the slide, in which it defines oil regeneration as follows. Regeneration is defined as restoration by removing contaminants and degradation products, such as polar, acidic, or colloidal materials, from insulating liquids with chemical or adsorbent agents. Regeneration usually involves treatment with clay or other adsorbents. We see that all these components appear in the oil due to its decomposition, and these acidic polar compounds and colloids must be eliminated from our oil. We are going to find out what characteristics of the oil we can improve, because when we talk about regeneration, we will have to distinguish between purification and regeneration of dielectric oil. This is a table that presents the various methods of regenerating dielectric oil and its capabilities. This is one of my favorite tables, as basically if we have an oil analysis and want to know what process I should go through to get the oil improved for a particular type of contaminant, we can look at this table. So we are going to say that all the processes that are associated with regeneration are related to the improvement of the chemical characteristics of the oil and are defined in line 6, which are contact processes. They involve percolation, activation with sodium, and titration of phosphate and other elements. Those are chemical processes. Another thing that is always important is to know when we are going to do these processes. And in order to have a baseline, we can take the C57.637 standard, where it tells us that we have two groups. Like in table number 1 of the standard, take two values as a reference, namely the acid number or neutralization number and the interfacial tension. Oils that belong to group number 1 must be recovered, and oils that belong to group number 2 must be regenerated. Therefore, we must find the minimum and maximum values in the oil in order to determine the processes. Knowing the neutralization number and interfacial tension is crucial. We'll discuss their implications on transformers. Sampling transformer oil is vital for understanding internal processes. Conducting a comprehensive analysis helps identify issues, allowing timely corrective actions to prolong equipment life. Understanding and halting degradation processes are key to predictive maintenance, not just reactive measures. So, let's start with the neutralization number. The neutralization number is the number that we are going to take as the acidity value. A large neutralization number will indicate the presence of certain polar compounds that will affect the electrical properties of the oil. It is very important that acids and polar compounds in the oil have very negative effects. With regard to the electrical characteristic of oil, we must remember that oil is a non-polar liquid. And this is one of its most important characteristics, since oil converts it into insulation. Here you can look at a diagram. Here you can look at a diagram that shows the ability to withstand mechanical stress by the paper insulation when it is in an acidic environment. The paper inside the oil in good condition has a much higher stress-bearing capacity than paper with a high neutralization number. Now we are going to talk about interfacial tension. When we have two phases, two chemical compounds that do not mix, we will have a border. This border between two chemical compounds is usually called an interfacial border. For example, here we have a border, the boundary between two liquids. Here we can see it between a gas and a liquid. The interfacial tension is a quantity that will tell us how much force a body needs to move from one phase to the other. As a rule, the presence of polar compounds in the oil dramatically reduces interfacial tension and is more sensitive in the initial periods of decomposition. It is now very important to analyze these two characteristics and measure them in order to know the condition of the oil and the transformer. Because when we see deviations, it will be an important sign of aging of the oil and therefore of the transformer. When detected, removing aging elements and regenerating the oil are necessary steps. Interfacial tension is measured in millinewtons per meter, as I said. It's a measurement of how much force we have to apply to move the object from one face to the other. Acceptable values should be greater than 32 millinewtons per meter. Questionable values will range from 32 to 28 millinewtons. And unacceptable values are values less than 28 millinewtons per meter. Another characteristic and another problem is that polar compounds increase the affinity of oil for water. As I mentioned, oil is a non-polar compound and water is a polar compound. This degrades the electrical insulating performance of the oil. It is very important to keep these values under control in our systems. The oil is regenerated when we remove the polar compounds. But in addition, we will remove some moisture and other contaminants. We are also going to remove the oxidation inhibitor. By regenerating used oil, we will be able to get the performance characteristics of new oil. At the end of the oil regeneration, the oil is basically reset, and its parameters are very close to the original. Sometimes it can be even much better. What happens is that this process also removes oxidation inhibitors. Therefore, whenever we regenerate oil and want to maintain the parameters of an inhibited oil, we must add the inhibitor back in and at the end of the process. The permissible inhibitor content for transformers should be more than 0.2%, but less than 0.3% by weight of the liquid. It is important to remember this. When the inhibitor is lost, it is important to add it again if we want to keep the oil within the performance limits of the inhibited oil. The process of injection and inhibitor is already provided in the oil regeneration units manufactured by our company. So when we regenerate the oil, we are affect the oil in three large areas. We are going to affect it physically. We are going to affect its viscosity, its interfacial tension, visual appearance, among other physical characteristics of the oil. We will also influence the electrical performance, such as power factor and breakdown voltage. Finally, we are going to influence the chemical characteristics, such as neutralization number and inhibitor content. We regenerate oil using Fuller's earth, but there are other processes. They are less common. Even the standards speak much less about those. The standard defines Fuller's earth is an active material that contains active polar substances internally and externally, which allow the non-polar components of the oil to pass, while capturing the polar contaminants or decomposition compounds dissolved in the oil. Fuller's earth is a material that is obtained as a result of processing bauxite, which was originally mined in Brazil. Fuller's earth can also be found in various places in Europe, where it has long been used for bleach wool and therefore acquired the name bleaching clay. Initially, farmers used it to remove grease stains from wool, hence the name bleaching clay. If we touch on the topic of material in regeneration processes, the first thing we are asked about is how much oil can be processed with a certain amount of Fuller's earth. This is a variable value. The IEEE number C 57.637 standard includes a table where you can see how much Fuller's earth is necessary to process a gallon of oil. This table shows the initial neutralization number, that is, the neutralization number in the oil at the time of sampling. On the chart, we see marks from 0 to 2. Remember that 2 is a very high value, and an acceptable value is 0.2. With an increase in the initial neutralization number, the required amount of Fuller's earth increases proportionally. The curves show the final desired values in the regenerated oil. The absorbent capacity of Fuller's earth is influenced by many parameters, such as temperature, oil flow rate, oil viscosity, and acid number. The European standard specifies the temperature at 60 degrees, but the processes like ours doesn't require heating because in the process with Fuller's earth, heating can activate corrosive sulfur, as some people say. But on our equipment, we can use the regeneration both with heating or without heating, depending on the customer requirements. So let's take a certain value or assume that the initial neutralization number is 0.8, and we want to achieve 0.05. In our case, 0.8 is here. Let's move our line to our desired value, to our final number, and say we want to achieve 0.05. When translating the value along the y-axis, it turns out that we will need approximately 1.7 pounds of Fuller's earth for every gallon of oil regenerated. It means that it's required 0.77 kilograms for 3.8 liters of oil. Or other words, 1 kg of Fuller's earth is required for 5 liters of transformer oil. Let us now consider the regenerative capacity of one of regular plants made by our company. One of our well-selling units, specifically, this is our 6-column Fuller's Earth plant. Model CMM6R Light. Each column contains 75 kg of Fuller's Earth, so totally it's 450 kilograms. Allows us to regenerate 2,100 liters of oil. 2,100 liters of oil is a relatively small amount. And since we say that we used 450 kilograms of Fuller's earth, that is a significant amount of absorbent was used to regenerate a relatively small amount of oil. But there is another technology that allows us to reactivate the same Fuller's earth up to 300 times and not throw it away. In this case, it turns out that the same amount of Fuller's earth, that is 450 kilograms, can regenerate 300 times more oil for a total of 630,000 liters. So going from 2,100 liters to 330,000 liters is very serious because we do it with the same 450 kilograms of Fuller's earth. Now it's obvious that the technology that allows reactivation of the sorbent is much more efficient. One of the widely used solutions when oil has problems with acidity and surface tension is oil change. Typically, this process is recommended by companies or engineers who do not have dedicated dielectric oil regeneration equipment. Oil change is just like a supportive therapy with limited results, since when oil is removed from the transformer, a significant amount of it still remains in the paper as insulation. And as you know, approximately 95% of the moisture contains in the paper insulation. Changing the oil in the transformer takes time to stop the transformer, as the transformer cannot operate without oil. There are also other precautions when changing the oil, such as the settling time of the oil before turning the transformer back on, etc., etc. All this leads to losses, which are more significant than the cost of the regeneration process. A significant amount of contaminants remain inside the transformer, which act as catalysts, accelerating the degradation of the new oil we just put into the transformer. In somewhat less than 1 year, the new oil will have properties close to those of the oil that required regeneration. So we can say that due to cross-contamination, the new oil becomes very bad properties after approximately 1 year of operation. So we are talking about large volumes of oil, and all the old oil from the transformer must be disposed of, while the new oil must be prepared. As we can conclude now, and oil change simply generates oil waste, time waste, and it is also a process that doesn't achieve any long-term results. In a few minutes, we will see such an oil regeneration plant in operation from our workshop. Now let's talk about the important components for our CMM6R Lite regeneration unit. The most important components are the columns with Fuller's earth. Their task is to contain the adsorbent material, which in turn removes contaminants from the dielectric oil. The columns of the globe core units also have built-in heaters that rise the temperature of the adsorbent material, switching on for a short time when Fuller's earth is reactivated. Also, in the columns, there is a group of temperature sensors that monitor the temperature of Fuller's earth during its reactivation. Valves at the top determine which of the columns will operate in each oil regeneration process. Each of these columns contains approximately 75 kilograms of Fuller's earth or 150 kilograms in the bigger machines. This slide shows a general view of the machine. The oil passes through the columns, the function of which is to capture the degradation products. First, the columns are filled with oil, and you also need to have a supply of oil that will allow you to maintain the process properly. As soon as the need arises to activate the Fuller's earth, the oil from the columns must be drained, and the process of burning pollutants inside the columns can be started. As soon as the high temperature process is over and the temperature in the columns decreases, the oil enters the columns and the oil regeneration process is resumed. In the animation, we can see how oil is pumped and distributed to each of the columns with Fuller's earth. Okay. So we can see that the oil first should be pumped to coarse filter with the filtration ratio approximately 200 microns in order to remove big particles or big contaminants from the oil. Then the oil is being supplied to fine filter with filtration ratio approximately 25 microns or 5 microns depending on customer request. Then the oil is being supplied to the oil heater where it can be heated up to the approximately 55-60 degrees Celsius. Then the oil is being supplied through the regeneration columns where it's been regenerated. After that, the oil is supplied to the filters to remove probably small particles of the absorbent which can be found in the oil. After that, the oil is being degassed and dewatered by the degassing chamber, and is being supplied to the fine filter with filtration ratio either 5 micron or 1 micron or 0.3 micron depending on customer requests. So there are different variants of different filters. And as a final stage, the oil is being supplied to inhibitor injection unit. As we said before, according to the local standards, the oil should contain the inhibitor in approximately between 0.2 and 0.3% from the total volume of the oil. And after that, after inhibition, the oil is being supplied to the transformer. So we can see the transformer now looks like new. We have removed the contaminants and sludges from the bottom of the transformer. We have cleaned and flushed the core of the transformer and removed all the contaminants from the paper insulation. And what is the most important, we removed the moisture from the paper insulation of the transformer. So after regeneration, the regenerated oil is returned to the transformer oil tank. The amount of the oil that can be processed depends on the quality of the incoming oil. It is also important to control the oil circulation rate, as one of the main variables in dielectric oil regeneration is the retention time of the oil in the columns. And therefore, the passage of oil at a reduced speed can improve the results of the process. So we can say that the quality of regeneration depends on the contact time between the regeneration and transformer oil. As soon as the Fuller's earth capacity is exhausted, you need to reactivate it, which can be seen on the next slide. The Fuller's earth reactivation process begins with the passage of air through the columns, after which the oil from the columns enters the buffer tank. After pumping out the oil, the material is ignited by the heaters in each column. Temperatures up to 750 degrees are reached in the columns, which removes the captured degradation products. When the temperature in the columns rises, the remaining oil is transferred to the dirty oil container and the absorbent is blown through with a stream of air. When the temperature drops again, the unit is ready to continue the dielectric oil regeneration process. This cycle can be repeated 200, 300 times, which allows you to recover a significant amount of oil. When we tell about 200, 300 times, we are talking about 100% warranty. But we have good experience with some of our customers who did at present time more than 600 reactivations with the same amount of the sorbent. So they didn't replace the sorbent in their equipment. So it is already proven by our customers. So now my colleague will demonstrate the equipment in operation. So I ask you for a couple of minutes, we need to connect our workshop for demonstration. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello. Hello, I'm Tim, and I'm going to show you our regeneration units. Here you can see two of them. One is CMM6R, and the other one is CMM12R. So we'll start from the CMM6R. This is the most simple unit in the series of regeneration units of GoldCore. So on its example, we will see the implementation of regeneration and reactivation process. So this is the control cabinet, and here you can see the ports for inlet and outlet of oil, and regeneration columns. So every regeneration column has 75 kilos of Fuller's earth. It looks like this. So this is whitening clay, and it contains lots of metal oxides such as aluminum, magnesium, manganese, and of course silicon. So due to its chemical composition and the huge surface, it has the great sorbing abilities. Okay, so in fact, the regeneration process is implemented in the very simple way. We just need to put into interaction oil and the sorbent. To do this, we just push oil with the inlet pump into the columns. So we use gear pump here, manometer, flow meter, and adjusting valve to adjust the capacity of the process. The capacity depends on the quality of initial oil and the requirements for the product you want to get. So capacity of this unit is up to 450 liters per hour. Again, with this valve, you can decrease or raise the speed of the process depending on the quality of initial oil. So, oil pump pushes oil through the adjustment valve into the wings of regeneration columns. We have two equal wings, each of 3 columns with the valves. Oil goes in the direction from the top to the bottom. Then it is collected in this manifold and passed into this line to the fine filter. In fact, this is all about the implementation of regeneration process. We just take oil, push it through the sorbent, and refine at the fine filter, and this is all. The biggest advantage of this technology is the ability to reactivate the sorbent. By reactivation of the sorbent, we understand the total reclamation of the sorbentability of the sorbent. As it was said, it is done by burning out the sorbent, burning out all the impurities collected by the sorbent while the regeneration process. So, how it is implemented in this unit? First of all, for the burning process, we need to apply some oxygen. To this purpose, we use the vacuum pump. This is rotary vane vacuum pump, and and it draws the air through the nozzle of a certain diameter. It draws air through the regeneration columns, again in the direction from the top to the bottom. So we have air, and to ignite the sorbent from the very beginning, we use the heating elements. Every column has the heating elements. They are of 2 kilowatts power. So at the first moment, we start heating elements. They work for 60 to 80 minutes, and this is enough to provide the initial ignition of the sorbent. After that, the heating elements go off, and the burning process goes by itself. So we just supply air by the vacuum pump. Again, the reactivation is quite simple. Ignite it first, then we apply air, and the one thing I forgot to say, that the process takes place under the lack of oxygen, and this is why we have comparatively small nozzle. You see, it's only 7 millimeters, and to control the amount of air, we use the vacuum meter actually in this line, and we can control the amount of air going into the columns by adjusting the capacity of the vacuum pump with this valve. So air, due to operation of the vacuum pump, goes into this line, into these wings in parallel. Then the sorbent is ignited from the top. After 60 to 80 minutes of operation, heating elements go off. The burning process goes by itself. And when the burning layer goes through all the volume of the sorbent, the reactivation process is over. Now, about the additional equipment, auxiliary equipment in here. Of course, we want to save as much more material as possible. To do this, while the reactivation process, we collect the material which continues to go down. I mean, oil, which was treated. It goes down, and from these manifolds it goes to this intermediate tank. An intermediate tank has the sensor which controls the operation of the transfer pump. So while the process of reactivation, we continuously remove the material. In this case, we pass it to the external tank. So this was about the auxiliary equipment such as transfer tank and transfer pump and intermediate tank. So this is to save as much material as possible. Another additional vessels in here. First one is the demister. It is on the way of the vacuum, of the air actually, from the intermediate tank. Air with the combustion products go to the demister, where the liquid phase is condensated and can be removed. And after that, the combustion products are refined in the charcoal filter. So there. And finally, combustion products refined in the charcoal filter are exhausted through this pipe from the vacuum pump. So regeneration, just press oil through the columns. Reactivation, ignite, and we burn the sorbent. The air is supplied by the vacuum pump. We try to save as much oil as possible by passing it from the intermediate tank to the external tank. By the way, this product can be regenerated again, so the losses are really small. Okay, and the combustion products are refined in charcoal filter. Actually, this is all. A few words about the system about the control system. We have the Mitsubishi Alpha controller in here to monitor the temperature of the process. It is of special interest while the reactivation process. So we can observe the process by the temperature sensor. Every column has two of them. So when temperature rises at the bottom sensor, it means that the process is over. So once again, this is the most simple regeneration unit in the series of CMMR units of Glow Core. Now let's go to the bigger one and probably more perfect. First of all the same principles are implemented in here. Literally, we have columns in here. So altogether, it is 12 columns. Each column has 150 kilos of fuller's earth again. We have, again, the gear pump, the inlet gear pumps. You can see it is, now it's actually on. The unit is under testing, and at the same moment, we perform the regeneration of transformer oil for local clients. So, regeneration columns, gear pump to take oil and to push it through the sorbent. Again, at the bottom over there, at the bottom of the columns, we have the manifold which goes to the intermediate tank, and from the intermediate tank, oil is passed to the fine filter. So the principle is very the same that in the previous, the simplex unit. So about the switching the flow, in this case, we use the pneumatically controlled valve. The sensors are the same, temperature sensors. So it was about the regeneration process. Now about the reactivation. Completely the same. We have the heating elements on the top of the column. Now I'm going to show you the vacuum pump. It is of a different type. It's not rotary vane one. It is fluid pump, but the principle is the same. Due to operation of the vacuum pump, through the nozzle, we supply air in the vacuum chamber or in the regeneration columns in direction from the top to the bottom. So this was about the air, this was about the ignition, and about the collecting the material. We have the transfer pump, and if in previous unit we transferred oil to the external tank, in this modification we have the buffer tank to collect the material which goes down from the columns while the reactivation process. And what is important in here, with this material, you can refill the columns after their reactivation product. It is very important when you work with the transformer, because in fact you cannot take oil from the transformer because it will decrease the level of oil in it. So if you work with the transformer, especially with the transformer online, you need to have the buffer tank on the board of the unit to refill the system. Sorry. This is the compressor, and I told you the valves are controlled by the pneumatic, and we have compressor for it. So transfer pump and buffer tank. Buffer tank used to refill the columns when you work with the transformer. Of course, when you work with the transformer online, you need additional equipment. You need the degassing section. This unit is without the degassing section. And a specific system to monitor the level of oil in the transformer. It is called TSX system. We also build the units like this, so where the regeneration section is combined with degassing section. Degassing. Okay, and it was about the collecting the material. Now about the refining of the combustion product. We have here quite a big vessel for charcoal, and we have also an additional stage of refining. This is the catalytic converter. It is over there. You can see the heaters, which are before the catalytic converters. We need it to provide the sufficient temperature for proper operation of catalytic converters. It is located on the roof, but fortunately we have we can this system in here. It can be supplied. I mean, this refining system can be supplied at a separate unit. So actually, it looks like this. We have air blower. It supplies air into the heating area, and after that, it is mixed with combustion products from the regeneration unit, and then this mixture goes through the stages of catalytic converters. So in this way, we provide additional refining of the combustion products. As I told you, this unit can be supplied separately and be used in combination, let's say, with this machine. About the control system in here. So in the control panel, you have the diagram of the unit. You can see columns, the inlet pump. So oil is passed by the inlet pump through the valves into the columns, into the left and right wing of the columns. Let it go through the intermediate tank, through the fine filter, to the out. Now the system works in automatic oil regeneration unit. At any moment, you can switch the process. So let's say we're gonna stop the process. And switch it to any other, like sorbent reactivation, or station filling or refilling from buffer, or you can switch it to manual mode. Also, you can set, let's say, capacity. The capacity of this unit is up to 2 cubic meters per hour. Also in settings, you can set the temperature of heaters before the catalytic converters. Normally it's something like, 400 centigrades. And this is the service value to control the capacity of the vacuum pump, which provides air while reactivation process. So with this setting, you can actually control the speed of the reactivation process, the speed of the burning process. Now I'm gonna start the regeneration process again. You can see valves opening. So the line is built and the inlet pump starts. Well, this is how the unit can be operated. Well, that was brief review of this of our regeneration units. The most simple and one of the most perfect. It doesn't have the degassing section, but it can be effectively used for regeneration of oil. The other thing I want to say, to double the capacity of the unit, you can add another section of 12 columns. All the auxiliary equipment is enough to provide normal operation of 24 columns. And the system has the piping, the valves, and the soft ability to add another section of regeneration columns. In this way, you will double your regeneration capacity. Yes, it was the short review of our regeneration unit. So now I'm ready to answer your questions, please. Ну что там?
Okay, let's now turn our attention to how we determine the quality of transformer oil during on-site regeneration. In such situation, rapid analysis are particularly important to provide quick information on the condition of the oil without slowing down the process. For effective monitoring, we use portable instruments specially designed for expert tests. They allow us to quickly measure moisture content, break down voltage, then delta directly at the regeneration site. This provides the necessary flexibility and accuracy for real-time decision-making. In this way, our on-site analysis methods not only ensure high accuracy, but also emphasize our ability to react quickly to changes, ensuring safety and reliability in the transformer oil maintenance process. All these measures are aimed at ensuring that regenerated transformer oil meets high standards and can be safely and effectively used in a repeated operational cycle. TOR-1 transformer oil tester is designed to detect the mass fraction of dissolved water in insulating mineral oils. When operating this device, it is necessary to take into consideration that the tester is only a reference point for fast detection of moisture content. A final analysis requires contacting a certified laboratory. In the best case scenario, standard laboratory analyses take a day and require great input of human and financial resources. The use of TOR-1 allows diagnosing the transformer oil as soon as possible and making a quick decision in the field near the transformer. The device combines all the devices necessary for simple and convenient operation. LCD panel to display the moisture content of tested oil, intake container for tested oil, moisture sensor to detect the mass fraction of moisture in insulating oils, printer for paper out of test results. The device measures such parameters as water activity, temperature, and calculates absolute water content in ppm. You can see the technical specification of the device in this table. The breakdown voltage or dielectric strength test is a common field test that allows us to determine the progress of the transformer oil recovery processes. Globe course BDV devices are a measurement system for this parameter and can be easily programmed to perform the test safely, quickly, and reliably. It is the ideal equipment for field work where it is possible to analyze the scope of the filtration process, including a regeneration process. The instrument's intuitive software even allows you to configure tests to your liking for laboratory tests, all of which meet high and varied quality standards. The equipment can be powered by voltages ranging from 85 to 264 volts, which allows adaptation to the conditions found in the field at the time of the measurements. Its maximum voltage is 100 kilovolts, which exceeds the values specified by international standards. The measuring cell has a size of 500 milliliters, and that allows for any of standard patterns. Its weight is only 25 kilograms, which makes it easy to transport and makes the device an excellent option to accompany oil regeneration and purification procedures in the field. The next device is hydrogen and moisture analyzer for transformer oil, TOR-2. The formation of hydrogen in transformers occurs as a result of the destruction of the oil molecule. It is important to remember that oil is hydrocarbon, so it is made up of carbon and hydrogen atoms, which form a long chain, which when the energy rises due to electric current or high temperature, they can separate from the chain, generating in insulating liquid. Hydrogen can contribute to the degradation of the insulating insulation properties of transformer oil and insulation materials, which can affect the efficiency and safety of the transformer. Knowing the amount of hydrogen in oil is a good indicator for determining the state of thermovacuum processes, the gassing processes, or regeneration processes. TOR2 tester is designed to determine the moisture and hydrogen content in insulating oils. Standard laboratory tests take at least 1 day. This can be a waste of time and human resources, increasing the cost of services. So this Club Core product allows our client to perform this test independently. Some of the important features of TOR2 are as follows: measurement of water content in ppm from 0 to 500 ppm, measurement of oil temperature from 0 to 55 degrees Celsius, measurement of 25 to 5000 ppm hydrogen dissolved in oil. The response time of this device is less than 60 minutes. It has low sensitivity, less than 2% interference from other gases. The power consumption is 60 watts, and dimensions are suitable for operation in the field with its mass under 10 kilograms. To obtain complete information about the dielectric properties of transformer oil, the dielectric loss tangent is measured. In the case of new oils, this parameter makes it possible to access the quality and degree of depurification. And in the case of used oil, the degree of decontamination and aging is esteemed. Therefore, devices for measuring the dielectric loss tangent should be available in every laboratory. Globcore has developed the TOR3 device for measuring the dielectric loss tangent and the dielectric constant of insulating oils. This device is controlled by a computer which commands certain actions. Measurements are made in automatic mode with the results output to this computer. After connecting the device to the mains, a command can be sent to the unit to begin measurement, which are usually performed with oil at 90 degrees Celsius. The heating takes most of measuring cycle time. To reduce the duration of measurement cycle time in the unit, it is equipped with a measuring cell with as internal heating system. Thus, heating and temperature stabilization are accelerated. The device quickly reaches the required conditions and starts measuring the values of the dielectric loss tangent and dielectric constant in just a few minutes. Having a TOR3 in your laboratory's inventory allows you to address two problems at once: to determine if new oil is suitable for filling transformers and how long existing oil can be used without change or regeneration. This increases the reliability of transformer operation and prevents emergencies associated with malfunctions of the insulation system. We hope the presentation covered the most important points. If you have any questions, you can ask them now or send them to our email address specified in the chat for this webinar. If you need a participation certificate, please inform us via email or in the chat. Thank you. So, do you have any questions to ask now? You can mute you can switch on your microphones.
Okay, my name is Mamadou Fanta Traoré from Guinea-Conakry.
Okay.
Yes, I'm trying to deal with a personal business. So I will need to buy this kind of machine for the oil purification of our power transformer here. Where can I get the detail from those equipment?
It's possible if you leave your email address in this chat. Can you do this now?
Okay. I already sent my email address on the chat area.
It's better you repeat right now if possible.
Okay, no problem. I will do that.
Thanks.
Hello, I have a question also. I missed most of the presentation. Is it possible for you to send the presentation document to our email address?
I think if possible we can adapt it for email. Just leave your email address in the chat.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
As TSST Group Transformer Turkey, I would like to thank the entire Globe Core team for providing us with this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
for
Suat.
participation.
Thank you. Have a nice day. We will soon, inshallah. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Same to you.
Okay, any questions?
This is Saranam from Ray International. Thanks for your presentation. And just I want to know, this machine is can be operated in online.
Can you speak louder?
Yeah, shall
We
we operate
understand
this?
you. Yeah.
Shall we operate this regeneration machine with onload? With online, that is that the transformer it's in live condition.
Yeah, okay. Actually, it depends on your local regulations because we know that some countries allow to operate on the online transformers. Some of them do not allow. So first of all, you need to understand if it's actually allowed by the law in your country. But we can supply the equipment which are able to operate on the on-load transformers. Moreover, I'd like to tell you that we recommend to make the regeneration on the on-load transformer. I will try to explain you why. During regeneration on the on-load transformer, we can eliminate and remove more contaminants from the paper insulation and from the core of the transformer because during operation, the transformer is always vibrating. And when we put the clean oil from the top of the transformer and take the dirty oil from the bottom of the transformer, we flush out all the contaminants from the paper insulation and from the core. Besides, we eliminate the bigger amounts of the oil because during heating, we know it and it is proven, during heating of the core, the water is migrating from the paper to the oil. So when we increase the temperature of the core insulation of the transformer, we are forcing the water to migrate from the paper insulation to the oil. And then the water is being catched by the filtration and regeneration system. So it's preferably to make the regeneration on the on-load transformers. And we can provide all the equipment to do it. We can supply the equipment with special transformer security system which measures the amount of the oil or volume of the oil in the transformer. In case of any emergency, it immediately stops the unit and just to prevent the stop of the transformer.
Mr. Saravan, we have supplied to your company, Ray International, 2 oil regeneration plants exactly with transformer security system. And your company has supplied it to one of your customers in the Middle East. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, actually that was online filtration machine. Just I'm talking about that online regeneration.
Yeah, this was oil filtration machine for your country. You are in United Arab Emirates, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
And another department of your company, I don't remember,
In
maybe
Kuwait.
in Kuwait,
It was for Kuwait oil company.
has
Yeah,
purchased two machines.
Okay, okay.
On sorry, one machine.
One machine.
For
KOC.
by your company. And
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Steven.
Yeah, please, I wanted to know at what temperature should you operate this machine? Also, not to protect, not to destroy the cellulose paper in the transformer when you are going through this process. What should be the temperature? Because so that the cellulose paper will also not be damaged. At what temperature?
The recommended temperature for processing of the transformer oil is between 50 and 60 degrees, not exceeding this value. In some cases, we can increase the temperature up to 80 degrees. For example, if we need to make some spraying of the oil from the top of the transformer. But initially for filtration, degassing, and regeneration of the oil, we recommend to use the temperature between 50 and 60 degrees. Usually, our factory presets are plus 55 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so approximately about 65.
65, it's not a big issue. It's not a big problem. 65 is also possible.
But okay, but you can go to 80. That's when maybe you want to spray, or maybe when you want to put vacuum. What temperature should you also vacuum?
I understood your question. Look, we can set even plus 90
That's
degrees,
after
but
you want to clean all the oil and
effectiveness of degassing and effectiveness of water elimination will not be so much increased because it is proven by many different investigations that the most accurate temperature is between plus 50 and plus 60 degrees. So within these limits, you will achieve the best results in terms of water treatment, oil treatment, excuse me.
Please, Mr. Abdelkader Kadouri, can we add an additional filtration unit to increase the property of oil to the generation unit?
Yes, of course. Actually, we have several models of regeneration systems. This model, which you have seen just at our workshop, it was the simple model only for regeneration. But in some cases, we can install in one frame the regeneration unit, degassing unit, and inhibitor injection unit. So it can be placed together in one place in big 40-feet container.
Okay, okay.
Hello, everyone. Albek Özbay from İsken Thermal Power Plant. Sorry if you already explained it because I couldn't attend most of the presentation. I would like to ask for your oil purification systems. What is the purification rate? For example, if I have 90 tons of oil, how long will it take to make a full recycle?
Are you talking about regeneration, or are you talking about just a simple filtration and degassing?
I'm talking about online regeneration.
Online regeneration. We cannot reply on your question right now because we need to have from you some very important parameters like oil testing results, acidity level, neutralization factor, BDV of the oil, moisture content, and so on and so on. Only then we can calculate what the capacity of the unit should be to provide all your requirements. So if you need any particular project or any particular case, it is better to discuss all the technical questions, to fill in the questionnaire, and then we and our engineers will advise the best solution for your specific project.
At least may I learn your maximum capacity? For example, 1 ton per hour, 5 ton per hour.
Okay, I will say about our most popular regeneration system with 12 columns with degassing section and with inhibitor injection unit. Usually we install 12 columns regeneration system plus 4,000 liters degassing plus inhibitor injection system. It means that in degassing mode, you will be able to operate with a capacity of 4,000 liters per hour. In regeneration mode, you'll be able to operate with the maximum capacity to 2,000, 3,000 liters per hour. And once again, it depends on initial oil quality. And I just would like to stress out that the quality of the regenerated oil depends on the contact time between the oil and sorbent. It means that you can increase the capacity of regeneration machine, but at the same time, you will increase the quality of the oil, or decrease the quality of the oil.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, sir. I was asking about TRO60. We already deliver 6 devices of it in Egypt. When I was delivering to the customer, he keep asking me, why should I enter the temperature every time when I'm starting the test? Yeah, the test it is not gonna start until I put the temperature of the oil. He was asking why I should put the temperature.
Excuse me, I didn't hear properly. What device are you talking about? Is it a BDV tester?
No, oil tester.
Yeah, oil tester, but for breakdown voltage tester, right?
Yes, breakdown voltage.
Okay. As far as I remember, as per standard, it should be the certain temperature of the oil before testing, because we know that with different temperature of the oil, the water activity of the oil is different, and the specifications of the oil may be also different. So that is why our system demands to input the temperature of the ambient temperature to make the proper testing results.
Is it the ambient temperature or the oil temperature?
But as a rule, if you do it inside of the room, the ambient temperature can be the same as oil temperature.
The oil. Maybe sometimes the oil maybe a little bit hotter than the ambient temperature just came out from the transformer. So I just need to put the ambient temperature or the oil itself, or just leave the oil to cool down and test it.
Mr. Abdulrahman, I think we should follow the operation manual. I cannot tell you by heart because I do not remember exactly what exactly temperature should you put there, either ambient or the oil temperature. I will find out and I'll respond to you.
Okay, thanks.
I have just to look through the manual of this device.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Can I ask a question as well?
Sure, anytime.
Good. I've got about 3 questions. One of them is from practice, I've seen that when you measure the breakdown voltage of hot oil, it's usually, or should I say, when I say hot, I'm talking about 65, 60, somewhere around there. You find that the breakdown voltage will be reasonably high. You wait for the oil to cool and you try and take the same breakdown voltage, you find that the breakdown voltage has fallen. So sometimes I would assume that working with the normal ambient temperature oil gives a better picture of the breakdown voltage as opposed to when the temperature is high. That is from my observation with from practice, in short. I don't know whether you would agree with me.
Yeah, actually, I guess that you are right, because as I said before, if there is some small amount of moisture in the oil, when we increase the temperature of the oil, we increase at the same time the activity of the water in the oil. And we know that the water content and BDV are relatively together. So as much water we have in the oil, as worse BDV testing results we can achieve. So I think this can be the reason. So by increasing the temperature of the oil, we increase also the activity of the moisture in the oil. That is why you can get the worst testing results on the BDV tester. Probably. This is just my suggestion.
Okay. All right. Secondly, I was not able to get the presentation very clearly from the beginning. I have
Sorry, Mr. Kelvin, we cannot hear you. Probably the connection is lost. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Could you please repeat, because the connection was broken?
Sorry. I was saying from the beginning, I wasn't very clear. The connection was a bit poor, so I wasn't following the presentation very well. So I've made a request that probably you share with me a recorded version. Now, my question is, I've done oil regeneration before. I've got an oil regeneration plant. It's not Grobco, it's from another brand. But one of the observations I've had is that when you do oil regeneration, the breakdown voltage becomes perfect, all the conditions become very good. But after that, more or less the performance life of the oil tends to be much shorter than normal. I have always wondered whether in the process of regeneration using Fuller's Earth, you actually use preservatives which you are supposed to add back after the operation. I don't know whether my thinking is correct.
Yes, Mr. Kelvin, you are 100% right. Because when you do the regeneration of the oil, you remove also the antioxidants or inhibitors from the oil. It means that after regeneration, the oil may achieve quick oxidation. And that's why we strongly recommend after regeneration to put the inhibitors back into the oil. And as I told before, the inhibitor content should be between 0.2 and 0.3%. So try to add some inhibitors into your oil. And I'm sure that you will remove this problem.
Thank you. Thirdly and final, are you able to supply those inhibitors or the preservatives themselves?
Sorry, we are not supplying the preservatives or inhibitors, but we can advise you the manufacturer or type of inhibitor which we know that our customer usually use. There are several forms of these inhibitors. They can be either in liquid form or in flakes or in balls with different prices, and the customer should decide for himself what type of inhibitor will he use.
Thank you. Third and final. The final one would be, I've seen the equipment you are using for determination of moisture and hydrogen. I would probably like to have details of that, and if possible, the price as well. What else? DGA? Anything to do with DGA? Because I think you haven't shown anything there. Do you have something small that one can use for determination of the gas chromatography of the oil before the process is conducted, and after, if possible, to know whether the process has been accurately done.
Okay, regarding your question about DGA, unfortunately, at present time, we do not produce yet this equipment.
Okay.
We have designed and we produced the equipment for determination of the total gas content in the oil. So we can offer this equipment. But as for DGA, probably it will be our next step, but not now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your questions. We will put the email in chat. If you have any specific questions or any specific requirements, please contact either your contact manager with whom you are usually dealing at Globcore, or write to our email ID. We will process all your requirements, we'll process all your questions, and we will provide all required information to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Hello?
Yes?
Hi, I'm Loic
Hello?
from... hello?
Yeah, hi, Mr. Loic. Please speak.
Yes, I have a question for your equipment analysis. I want to know that if, as I understand that your equipment are all automatic. So I want to know, do we need to calibrate your devices?
Sorry, your question was about calibration.
Yes, calibration of your equipment.
Actually,
what country are you from?
Gabon.
Gabon. We need to check if we have a dealer in Gabon. Usually, you can do it by our dealer in your country.
Sasha, Alex, we don't have a dealer in Gabon. It was a direct sale. And speaking about calibration of equipment, Mr. Loic is asking calibration of equipment. Our equipment, meaning oil processing machines, are not calibrated. And our devices, depending on which they have TOR 3 and TOR 80. TOR 3 is self-calibrated. TOR 80 can be calibrated by third organizations.
Okay, thank you, Oksana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you don't, how can we proceed to ensure that our results are reliable? This is my last question.
Sorry, Mr. Lloyd,
please.
Could you please speak a little more slowly and louder, because we could not understand your question.
Okay, I want to know that when we use a device, after how many tasks can we ensure that our results are reliable? How can I say that? Yeah. Oksana, can you help me?
Bien sûr.
Voilà. Donc, je voudrais dire, après combien de temps, en fait, on peut s'assurer que nos résultats sont fiables?
Питання в наступному. Після використання приладів, скільки часу, ну, от вони використовують прилад і хочуть знати, скільки часу вони його можуть використовувати, щоб результати були достовірними. Як вони можуть впевнитися, що результати достовірні?
Андрій, скажи.
Як вони можуть впевнитися?
Как часто калибровку надо проводить?
Как часто калибровку?
Да. Раз в год?
Hello.
We recommend to make the calibration of the devices approximately one time a year. So we can say on a yearly basis.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Samuel.
Mr. Samuel,
I'm
good
Samuel.
morning.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Ghana.
Yes, we contacted yesterday.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's, yeah. Okay.
You are Alex, right?
Alexander, yeah.
Oh, wow, Alex. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, please, you spoke about using inhibitors to help in the oil regeneration. Yeah, I want you to be specific about the kind of inhibitors which can help you revive the transformer oil properties. That is, after you go through that process. I have a second question, so I don't know if you would like to answer this, and then I will add the second one.
Well, Mr. Samuel, I can send you by email the brands of inhibitors that we can recommend to buy.
Okay.
But usually you use this after regeneration, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, inhibitor injection is the last stage of regeneration process. So you put the inhibitor just before you put in the oil into the transformer.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then please, my second question is how long should you use a particular oil in a transformer? I know we have a reclamation process which you'll be using for the transformer. That's as you keep on using it from time to time. But in all, how long? Let's say maybe 2 years, 1 year, you should just get rid of the transformer oil. I don't know if we have something like that. Or so far as you can regenerate it, you can use it as long as you want. I don't know if I'm clear.
Mr. Samuel, we could not understand properly your question. Are you asking about the duration of the good quality of the oil after regeneration, or what did you mean?
Yes. So let's say I have a means to regenerate, the oil from time to time. Yeah, and I'm asking that how long can I do the regeneration? Also, far as I can have good readings for it, I shouldn't bother about having that oil replaced.
Okay, yeah. Actually, this is really good question, but it depends on many factors which you have directly on site. First of all, if you did regeneration on load or off load, if you have properly removed the moisture from paper insulation, if you have properly washed or flushed your transformer and removed the sludges from the bottom of the transformer, there are a lot of things which can make influence on the quality of the oil. If we are talking about the best conditions, for example, you did the regeneration on the on-load transformer for about 7 days approximately, and you took the oil samples. The oil samples are within the limits. After 1 month, you took another oil samples, they're still okay. After 6 months, you took the new oil samples and they are still okay. It means that regeneration is done properly. And probably you will need to make the new regeneration after 5 years or maybe after 10 years. But as I told you, there are a lot of different factors. It can be also the quality of the transformer, if the transformer is hermetically sealed or not, if there is any leakage of the air in the transformer, so we cannot tell you number of years which can be enough between the regenerations, because it's impossible to say. But we can provide you the instructions how to make the regeneration properly, to prolong the lifetime of the transformer, and to make it correctly in the proper manner.
Exactly, that's well understood. Okay, so the focus should be to do proper regeneration.
Yeah.
Just to and then it shouldn't be just always going in to have the oil replaced. If you there are means for you to do proper regeneration and then reclaim your oil back, I think that's the way you should go.
Anyway, if anybody buys Globcore equipment, we provide the constant support. If necessary, we can make the online meeting directly from side of the customer with our engineers. We are always in contact with our customers, so if there are any questions, any issues, we are always here to support our customers.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, I beg your pardon. We would be happy to discuss more and more with you and reply on your questions, but we are very limited with the time. Actually, we wanted to to make this presentation within 1 hour, but as I see,
1 hour and
it's already 1 hour and a half. So we beg your pardon because we need to leave the slot for another presentation. And please, if you have any questions, any doubts, any issues, just don't hesitate to contact us. We are always happy to support to our customers.
I have left my our email address in the chat, the last message. You can send us your questions by email or just visit our website and leave a message there. Thank you all for attending this presentation.
If you have already contacted Globcore before, please try to contact your relationship manager. He will provide you all required information about us. Thanks again for your questions, gentlemen. Thanks again for your time. We are going to make more and more such webinars or presentations online. So we will invite you and we'll be happy to see you again. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Thanks. Bye-bye. Take care.